lot of talk about people who have been struggling with maybe falling off track. Just out of curiosity, anybody struggling with those issues? Okay, so I guess this will probably be somewhat of a benefit to you. We're going to open it up after we're done and just, you know, kind of briefly talk. So basically, have you suffered the pain of regain? Yes. So we know that we're there. And for those who haven't gotten to that point, you know what? It's good to hear because, you know what? You don't know if you're going to hit that skid and slip. Okay? So basically, are you derailed? And we know that there are some of us here who are derailed. But this is the big question. Why am I off track? Why am I off track? And these are things that we hear all the time. I'll have patients come to my office. It's my thyroid. It's in my genes. My metabolism is bad. Okay? My medication is causing me to be off track. Yes, these have an influence, but honestly, it's not the root cause. Okay? Because bottom line is, are these things making you make the wrong food choices? Are these things making you put those wrong things into your mouth? We have to stop blaming the outside influences. We have to basically point the finger where the finger needs to be pointed. It's about the calories of food that you choose to eat, right? So, versus what you're burning off. I mean, how physically active are you? Where are you struggling? Where are the places that are causing you to slip? It's basically your behaviors. If you continually blame outside influences, basically, I like this next slide because you're like the little poor turtle on its back, and you won't be able to do anything. See? Once we get a turtle on their back, they can't get up. So it's time to stop assigning blame. You will get up and you will figure it out. And that's what we're here trying to do. Maybe by being here and trying to do that, we can come up with some ideas to maybe help you guys. Okay? There's no shame. You guys, if you've slipped, if you've fallen, there's nothing to be ashamed about. Okay? You're still quite a bit lighter than you were. You're still a bit healthier than you were before you had surgery. Am I right? Yes. Okay. So it's just time to face it and let's deal with it, right? So we have to be aware of our eating. How many people use different phone apps to track their foods? Okay, not a lot of you. How successful are those of you who track your food with your phone apps? The question is what stops you from doing it? Time. You take time to eat, right? Do we take time to eat? So can we take that extra minute or two to throw it in our phone? But we still need to have that accountability. You know, if you're struggling and you know it, you're a little bit closer to accepting that accountability, I think. It's hard. I'm not going to lie. It's hard. But there's a couple different places you can go. MyFitnessPal.com. There's FitDay.com. I was playing with it, another one the other day. It was a lot of you guys who went through the Kaiser classes. It's CalorieKing.com. I actually found an app online for CalorieKing.com. And you guys who know me, who come to visit me, know I'm a paper and pencil kind of girl. You know, I'm just kind of old school. I like paper and pencils. But what I found is on that Calorie King, I can put in 2 scrambled eggs, and it will just pop up it'll pop up the calories for, like, you know, I had 2 large eggs scrambled, and if I had it with a teaspoon of butter, or I had it with oil, or however I had it cooked, I can actually pick that just like on these 2. But again, I don't have to like plug it into the phone, because for me, this is for me only, and I can't speak for any of you. I have more accountability if I write it down as opposed to if I just boom, 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 press a number, and there it is. Okay, does anybody remember what your calorie goal should be? 1,200 to 1,400. You don't want to go under 12 because it sends your body to a place where it just wants to basically hold on to what you're giving it. Okay. Your protein goal is 80 to 100 grams a day. Still, your protein goal should be 60 to 80 grams of protein if you're a diabetic, if you have kidney issues, or if you're fortunate enough to have gout. Okay? Water intake. This is important, guys. Your water should be at least 64 ounces a day. Okay? Because of the fact that the weather's going to be getting hot, you really need to work on getting your water in. I don't care how far out we are, once we get dehydrated, it doesn't matter how far out you are, you're still at the risk of ending up in the hospital for dehydration. The other thing that can help you, how many people practice portion control? How many people use these tools for portion control? Honestly, use them. I mean, I think these are important. These are important so you know. Because once we start eyeballing stuff, let me see anybody who's pretty far out. 2 years? Yeah. So the bottom line, okay, that looks like 3 ounces, that looks like a half a cup, and it's probably more. It really does. And, you know, if you're measuring up something like rice or something like that, these help too. You know, the minute we get too comfortable eyeballing something is the minute we start getting out of control. I can honestly tell you that. We start getting out of control as soon as we start eyeballing. Okay? So, you know, try taking a step back and going back to this and seeing if it helps. Okay? So, but if you don't, and if you're in a pinch, these are some things, and these are on the handout that you got. These are some hints that would help you. Like a fist, like your fist, is equivalent to about a cup. And what you would put in there would be some rice, some pasta, okay? Your palm would be 3 ounces. If you cut your fingers and your thumb off, and it was just your palm, and estimate the thickness of a deck of cards, that's going to give you about 3 ounces. This would not really be an everyday thing, but you know, if you were stuck out and about somewhere and you had to just kind of estimate, this would be the way to go. Are you having a hard time seeing through the camera? No. Oh, okay. So, and like a handful, just like a cupped handful, that would be like some nuts or some raisins, if you couldn't measure it. And I'm real big into making sure that, you know, I measure my food. Okay? A thumb, peanut butter. But you know how many squats you have to do to get rid of a tablespoon of peanut butter? It's quite a few squats. So just, especially being that she's doing squats now. So it takes a while to burn off peanut butter, just so you know. And you know how many people go into the peanut butter jar? They put that big old spoon in that peanut butter jar. Okay, let's tell on ourselves. Yeah, and it's, you know, a measure of peanut butter is 1 level tablespoon, not a tablespoon. Okay. And then our little silverware. Does anybody use the small silverware, like the little salad forks that come with your cutlery versus the regular size fork? Those. You know, and it helps. Even if you were to tell me that you were struggling, I would tell you, go and get yourself some toddler forks and spoons, because you sure can't pile the food on those little tiny forks. Then, you know, you could go buy yourself a pretty shrimp fork. Condiment forks.
Okay.
Those forks are so
I never had that.
Because you know what it is, a lot of times, I don't know about you guys, but a lot of times we need to slow down. We just need to slow down. I mean, we slowed down in the beginning, didn't we?
Oh, yeah.
And has it come back, have you come back like a racehorse?
No.
Faster than you did? I see someone shaking their head back there. I see a few heads.
Yeah.
So, protein drink, anybody do that as a snack still? Okay. Lunch, how about, are we getting our proteins, our vegetables, and our carbs? Sometimes I think people have a lot of problems right here, especially because you rush out of the house at breakneck speed in the morning, and maybe we forget this. And oh, I'll get something healthy at lunch. And does that always transpire? So, and you know, your snack doesn't always have to be a protein drink. It should be some sort of a protein kind of snack. The one thing I do tell you is, you know, I'm not real big on protein bars. I just think that protein bars, I look at them as glorified candy bars. The only time I would really kind of go forward with a protein bar is one of those emergency, kind of like in my little emergency kit. I completely blew it, I'm completely away from everything, and I don't have anything except a protein bar. That's probably the only time I would have a protein bar. But you can have for a snack, you have string cheese, you can have some almonds, you know, a little bit of beef jerky if you're far enough out, that kind of thing. But dinner, protein, vegetable, and carb, again, okay? And then a snack in the evening could be a protein drink, it could be some yogurt, it could be something like that. It's, well, first of all, it's not a lot of bang for your buck.
Right.
There's not a lot of bang for your buck. That, can you gobble that down pretty quickly, and will it satisfy you? Here's our water. Look at the pretty little water bottles. They're so pretty, you should want to drink out of them. 64 ounces a day. Exercise. Guys, you have to do it. It's 2 4-letter words, it's 2 dirty, nasty words, but you got to get out and do it. It doesn't matter what you do, as long as you figure out something to do, you know. And it should be, try to get 40 to 60 minutes a day, at least 3 to 5 times a week. I truly believe that we can always find time somewhere. We can grab half an hour, 40 minutes somewhere in our day. It should be, you really should try to get your exercise as much as you can at one time, because what you need to do is you need to work on getting your heart rate up. You know, you need to get that heart rate up to get into an aerobic state. You know, if your joints, your back, and those things are issues, there's things you can do, things you can find to do. Chair exercises, sit in the chair and exercise. Try to find a pool to get into swimming. I mean, there are things that you can do. Even if you can't swim, you can walk in that pool.
Right.
You can walk in that pool. Nobody really at these pools, they're all there for the same reason that you are, to exercise. And a lot of people are really hung up as, oh, I don't want to be in a bathing suit. It's okay.
They wear shorts.
They wear shorts. So, and here's different ideas of different things that you can do. It helps: walking, running, hiking, biking, swimming, yoga, dancing, karate, boot camp, spin class, aerobics, water aerobics, chair exercises, treadmill, elliptical, weights, gardening. So there's numerous things that you can do to get your exercise in. So this I want to open up basically for discussion. You lost motivation. And maybe, is there anybody who lost their motivation and has gotten it back? So you're all good. Wait. It may be one of those things that, like someone said, you may have to get up a little bit earlier, you may have to stay up a little bit later and get a video, throw a video in. You know, get the kids to do the video with you. Hey, yoga's tough.
Yeah.
Yoga's not easy. But, you know, you're going to have to sit back and look and say, okay, where can I give myself a half an hour? Where can I allow me to take care of me and have that half hour for me? Because I know, as many of us moms know, working moms, you know, people who have busy lives, we need to find that time for us. I can tell you, before my surgery, everything pretty much that I did focused around my kids, and I didn't find time for me, and that's one of the things that got me in trouble. You need the exact same thing? There you go. You need some change. You need to change how you're eating. You need to change some things around. Anybody out there have any suggestions for it? So that's what you need to do. You need to get into maybe one of these apps and start looking at the calories that you're getting in. All carbs, guys, are not evil. You could do some brown rice. You can do some whole grain pasta. You can do some fruit. Fruit can count towards a carb. But I think you need your body, just like she said, when you exercise and you do things, your body gets used to it. If you eat the same thing day after day, if you do the same exercise day after day, your body's going to accommodate it and not do anything. we said, we've got to change something up sometimes. Sometimes it's just that changing up. Like you're doing pretty much exercises every day, but sometimes you actually have to increase your calories. And that's one of the things that sometimes, guys, you have to actually increase your calories. I had gone to a trainer and she says, oh, you just don't eat enough. I'm thinking, you're crazy.
Yeah.
You are absolutely crazy. And she put me on this eating plan and I thought, oh my gosh, I'm never gonna, I mean, first few times I ate, like she told me, I was in a food coma for like the afternoon. And then, boom, I lost, in 2 weeks, I lost 12 pounds. And this was just last year, you know. And I thought, oh my God, I'm gonna die. And it took me a good, well into a half an hour, pushing 35 minutes to eat. There were some days I couldn't eat it, just like any time, like Mary said. Sometimes you can eat that little sandwich, she could have probably eaten the whole thing. Other days, not happening.
That's true.
You're spot on. You're absolutely spot on. You know what? And the other thing is how many of us, when we were 100 pounds heavier, 60 pounds heavier, how many of us beat ourselves? How many people said horrible things to ourselves in the mirror?
Yeah.
How many of us really?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could tell you the things I used to say to myself. Like, they weren't nice things I said to myself. And we're probably the ones who beat ourselves the most, more than probably maybe I'm wrong, because we can be so self-destructive at the things when we look at ourselves in the mirror and think, oh, you're just big old fat cow or something like that. And I can tell you, there were many mornings I looked in the mirror with my clothes off, and that's what I said, you know, as I was always had to pass by that mirror to get into the shower, you know. And now like you say, it is what it is. I am who I am, you know. I'm definitely, you know, a lot less and a lot healthier than I was before I got to this point. And I can sit here and I can look at every single one of you guys, and I can see that there used to be someone else there, but that person isn't there. And the thing is that, you know, do we always strive to be beautiful? Do we strive to be something we're not? Do we strive to be those magazine covers, you know, that are airbrushed? I don't know what I weigh. I don't know if I weigh 200 pounds. I don't know if I weigh 165 pounds. I know my clothes all fit the same. We all have non-scale victories. Every single one of you in here has had a non-scale victory. And the scale should not 100% define us. We should have an idea, but it shouldn't be who we are. Remember one thing? You know what? Sometimes the scale's not moving, like you said, but the clothes are, the inches are.
Yeah.
But the thing is what do we do when we hit those bumps and we're stuck? Do we completely just crumble and give in to everything? Come here. But do we completely crumble and just like say forget it and throw in the towel? Do we fight back? Do we keep going, one foot in front of the other? You know,